All right, let's get it going, Professor RG.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to ARTIVISM, the Power of Art for Social Transformation. Thank you, everyone from the Loisaida, I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, organization. We're so happy to have you here finally. Last year, I did have Alejandro speak to my classes, and he also participated in some of these events. So it's beautiful to have the rest of the team here today. We have our student ambassador today, who is Emily Rosado. Emily Rosado exists as a storyteller while being a simultaneous teacher and student. They are a curator for button poetry and have attained a dual degree in mass communications and public relations from York College of Pennsylvania, where she also spent time performing slam poetry and comedy. Participating in Losaida's M.U.J.E.R program last year was one of the biggest highlights. She is inspired to write and create films and videos about social justice and personal experiences, and is always ready for the revolution. Thank you so much, Emily, for agreeing to be here. Hopefully, I mean, with all the work you're doing, we would love to have you back to present some of your work here. It would be lovely to have you in the fall. So you can, I'll hand it over to you and you can introduce your team.
Oh my gosh, thank you so much, Professor RG. That was really nice. I am so thankful to be here presenting Maria Torres and Katiria Allende. We all came to meet when we were doing the M.U.J.E.R program last year. Maria Torres is a director, choreographer, instructor, and a producer that began as a critically acclaimed performer, contributing choreography while performing in film, dance with the 6-time Tony-nominated Broadway musical, Swing and Me. Torres was nominated for a 2018 Ovation Award for Best Choreography for Luis Valdez Zoot Suit, and is a Lucille Lortel and Carbonell nominee of Four Guys named Jose's The Donkey Show, and Celia, the musical based on the life of the late Cuban singer Celia Cruz. At Loisaida, Maria is the lead program coordinator for the media used for justice, equity, and respect, our M.U.J.E.R program. Katiria is a Lower East Side resident and M.U.J.E.R 2021 program participant who is passionate about her community, heritage, and culture. Katiria has a degree in anthropology from John Jay College. Her interests include social justice research, Latinx culture, and art. Through community engagements, Katiria looks forward to further learning more about her community's history. Aside from her administrative duties at Loisaida, Katiria leads various outreach efforts through the nonprofit, including the distribution of dry goods, the winter clothing, and essentials for the local homeless population. Yes, so thank you so much for letting me present Maria and Katiria. Yay.
Maria, you muted.
Yeah. Oh, there I am. Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't unmute for a second. I don't know why. Hi, everybody. My name is Maria Torres, and I am so happy that Emily, you were available to introduce. I wanted people to have your energy here, and I'm glad here to be here with Katiria as well. I am the lead program director for the M.U.J.E.R, and the way that I got involved with the M.U.J.E.R project, which is media used for justice, equity, and respect, was through the 2020 happenings that occurred during the summer, and I was really interested in wanting to serve my community. And a friend of mine introduced me to the Loisaida Center, which then led to meeting Alejandro Epifanio, and then meeting Eden Martinez, who was an excellent filmmaker and also part of the initial M.U.J.E.R program that I was able to come on board and help usher in and help take it to the next level. So I'll be talking about what we did during that program. And these two beautiful ladies that are beside me, Emily and Katiria, were two of the participants. We ended up having four, but about five, actually. We ended up having four participants that were able to showcase their work. And the deal was for them to be able, at whatever level, whether you're a beginner in film, or mid-career or pre-professional, whoever was interested in the media, being able to use media as a way of storytelling and as a way of sharing your insight to what you want the world to see through the landscape of the lens, right? And so for me, it was really important when I joined them that we had a theme that would be about what we were lacking at the time, unity and family. That was the thing that I saw that was missing. And I said, it doesn't have to be your chosen family. It could be, it doesn't have to be your biological family. It could be a chosen family. So that was the theme that Eden Martinez and I worked on. And through that process, it was great because Eden was able to start with the students and basically introduce them into the ground level of what it's like to be able to start to choose and think about storytelling, about being able to put together concepts, so that then by the time that they would work with me, which was in production and how we go further than that, it would be taking it from the page to what we call the stage in my world, or to the screen in the world of M.U.J.E.R. The great thing about the Loisaida Center and the media used for equity and respect is that it is a multimedia room that is filled with the camera work that they need and all of the equipment that they need to be able to accomplish that dream. When I walked in there, I knew that it was something that I needed to be a part of, because I think that right now we can all understand that we're at a point where we can use the art, ARTIVISM, but we can use the art to really make a difference. And that's why I was on there, not only to bring my expertise, because I'm in the field as an artist and what I've done and what I continue to do, but I think by being with them and watching them learn and grow and introduce to me what they wanted to do, it was my job, along with the team that was there, to make sure that everybody had an opportunity to use their voice and to express it the way that they wanted. So that was what we did for the M.U.J.E.R. And what was beautiful is that each one of these ladies and gents who's not here today were able to excel, and I saw the growth. And so Alejandro and I decided that we wanted to continue and then take it to the next level, which I'll be talking about that a little bit later on, called M.U.J.E.R Pivot, because again, the M.U.J.E.R project was based on the initial groundwork of what Eden Martinez had laid out, which I absolutely loved and agreed with, was how do you use media in a way that could be effective and also life-changing for the individual as well as for the community. For me, I saw it a little bit, so I see it a little bit broader. How can we go to the next level? How can someone that maybe has some interest but has never done it can walk out of this program wanting to run to become a filmmaker? And then for those who were pre-professionals like Emily and Alex, who also were graduates from filmmaking, and Javin Zapata, who is not here today, but he was also someone who graduated from college as a filmmaker. How can they use their voices and amplify their voices for what they wanted to do, but also how can we as a collective be able to take this to the next level? And so I'm happy to say that we're here for round 2, which is M.U.J.E.R Pivot. And we're hoping that we have new people that can join us. And I'll talk about that a little bit later. But before I go there, what I do want you to do is that I want you to see the work. We met over the summer. I remember meeting you guys in July. Katiria and Emily and the rest of the participants. And it was interesting because for the first, what I call the first groundwork of the M.U.J.E.R project, we didn't have a strict timeline because we wanted to really experiment what it was like to allow that each individual to feel as though they were getting a one-on-one with me, and a one-on-one with the team at Loisaida. And that's exactly basically what we did. So from July all the way through December, we dove into many different things and many different templates of the types of stories that they wanted to tell. What I loved is what came out of this. And we have Emily, who is our student ambassador that introduced us, who had from the beginning, from when I first met her, had this beautiful smile, just beautiful energy. And her thing is, she goes, I'm speaking about my chosen family. And I want her to tell us a little bit about that and then show us her video, because I think it's just fantastic. And I do recognize some of the names here. So I do want to say hello to Tatiana and Lauren and Francine and Elka. And I see some new people here. Kimberly Flores is also on. Thank you for coming on. The goal is to, I just want to say, the goal is to walk away from this and have you want to share it with others so that you can participate. The program will be starting. The online registration is open and it's there. And what we're looking for are people that want to tell their stories, as well as maybe through the lens of what's happening, pick a topic that's really passionate to them and allow us to take you on that journey so that you can take it from an idea all the way to your filmmaking and be able to present your work. And so, Emily, so why don't you share like your experience? For me, when I first met you, your smile and your energy was so infectious, but I think more importantly, how you lit up when you talked about your family, and which is your family is that you chose to talk about is what? Is it your chosen or your biological family?
Yeah, I chose to talk about my chosen family. The prompt we got was what defines family? And when I immediately thought about that, I was just like, my group of friends, like we call ourselves the Melismas. We created a family name that we have through this like really funny story. But yeah, we just have been friends now for like over 8 years. And that was like the immediate like, wow, I would love to document us and show like really how we are with each other and who we are. And like they are the ones who have really made me have a healthier view of what family really can be, because not everybody gets along as well with the people who were given to them, their biological family. But it doesn't have to be any different if you're like choosing the people. It's actually a lot stronger sometimes. So yeah, I can share my video.
Yeah, and also, but
Everyone.
before you share your video, tell them like what the Melismas means and also where you met, because you all met where?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So we all met in college at York College of Pennsylvania. They're all like the theater students, and I was a mass communications major, like focusing on filmmaking. So we were all in the arts building together. And one of my friends, the reason we got our name is because one of my friends was a music major and she was trying to do this paper that she just has difficulty translating something that's in her brain to something that is on the page. So she knows all the answers, but writing it down is like so difficult for her. So our other friend was like, well, I can type for you. You just speak to me, I'll type the paper and like, we'll get it done. Like we were being so supportive. And a music term in this paper is melisma, which is actually spelled like Melissa, but like M-A at the end. And our friend smelled it the most like city girl type way, spelling it M-I-L-I-Z-M-U-H. So it was just so funny that is how we were like, that's us. We're the Melisma. Like we are out here. But yeah, and they're just really great. And I'm really happy that I was able to do this video on them and like even show a fraction. But through doing this, it has made me feel like I want this to be more. Like there's so many other things that I can see myself showing about our friendship. And also one of my friends was actually like in England auditioning to be an opera singer, the same friend who couldn't write the paper. So I was not able to shoot her interview at all. So I knew that already, like there was more work that has to be done just to make this even feel more complete. So I just really want to try and make it longer. And one of my other friends is a musician, and we're going to work on her music videos for the music that she's been self-publishing and everything. So there's just so many other things that I just imagine out of what I was able to start with the M.U.J.E.R program. So yeah.
Yeah.
I
And
can
what was so
share it now.
beautiful too is that, you know, what I love is that each time that we spoke, so we talked about storytelling, we talked about what the music that you want to choose, we talked about how you are able to then create an introduction that's personal so that the audience gets to really see what that documentarian or that filmmaker is like. We talked about, and the thing about what I love about Emily is that Emily really tied everything to including the music, to her friends from the melismas, which is fantastic. It's original music, which, you know, we're going to work on. The next part of this will be doing a music video from one of her melisma friends, and hopefully taking this documentary, which is only 5 minutes. That was the challenging part. So they had a 5 minute, they had a theme, which was family, chosen or biological family, and then 5 minute documentary. And that's difficult to try and put a lot into a small amount of time, as well as being able to edit, be able to do, you know, shoot it, edit, do all the different types of levels of programming that you needed to get it ready. And then we did a presentation in December, which allowed a small audience to have a viewing of their work. And what I can tell you from Emily is that I saw her blossom each week that we worked, from each month. I saw you blossom and become so confident as a filmmaker and being able to say, yep, I'm ready, I got this, you know, and come up with her teaser and come up with every single aspect that you're about to see right now, which I absolutely love. So take it away, Emily. Show us a little bit about the melismas.
Yeah, okay. Everybody can see it? Awesome. These are the melismas. They are my chosen family. They're what I think of when I think about redefining family, and they're what I think of when I think about family, period.
Wake up, don't need no makeup, but I be my face cause I'm that bitch. Black on magic, I'm bewitched, yeah. FaceTime my crew, ask what y'all trying to do. They say, girl, nothing you. I guess we're linking up, matching head to toe, heels so high, I float, hair on 10, my ass on blue.
I'm not really sure how I define family.
Family is a really hard concept.
All right, so family is a difficult thing for me. I come from a complicated family.
Sometimes family can be bad, but sometimes family can be good, and I feel like, you know, you choose your family.
People are there for you, not necessarily blood.
I've always known that family is not simple. Family to me is a safe space to feel loved, somewhere where you feel like you belong.
They're the people that, you know, at the end of the day, you always want to build and grow stronger with.
It's about growth and trust and a sense of community that makes you feel like, I don't know, like a person, like a human being that has other human beings to look out for them. My given family has always felt like an obligation. Well, I've always felt like an obligation to my given family. Everything always felt like, oh, this is something I have to do. My given family can make me feel like I'm still in the closet.
While I do feel like really loved, cared for, and understood as best as they try by my given family, parents specifically, my brother is, but it's just something about when you're queer, to be honest with you, and you find your flock of people who get it.
Yeah, while I love my given family, I just don't feel like they get me. Whereas with the melismas, I feel like everything is done because we chose each other, as opposed to feeling like this burden. So it always feels like so much lighter, and I feel loved because I was chosen, as opposed to just, I don't know, I have to take care of this person because they're my kid and that whole thing. It just makes me feel more loved and supported and chosen. The melismas make me feel like I'm always at a pride parade. I feel like It's so funny because I've never really been like a big group type of person. So the melismas have been like this dream come true. I've never known that family could be easier until I met the melismas. For me to have like the family that you see in movies that's always there for each other, their friends that'll ride or die for each other, fight someone at the club for you, like those are my friends. And when we first started coming together, it felt like easy. It just felt really like it was supposed to be like destiny.
The thing that like sort of stayed constant through all of that was our bond getting stronger, us hanging out, and it's just like so warm. Like when we were all together in undergrad, it felt like a place to go home to, like having this group of friends.
The melismas is a group of people, but like we have our little own subsections that just click and melt so well, and they can change the vibe. And it's kind of like a lava lamp or mood ring, just changing the vibe.
I don't know if anyone else believes in this, but I've always believed that you meet people for a reason, and I feel like we were supposed to come together, and melismas are really my soulmates. Yeah. Yeah, so that was my video.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Emily, for sharing. I can't wait to see you back and see how we can continue to create more and extend. You know, like I said, this was the first try. So the thing is just being able to see what mujer can be. And we know that mujer means woman in Spanish, but it's the acronyms. This is open to everybody. Just wanted to make sure that everybody knows that it's for all intergenerational and for everybody from brand new to having some skills like what Emily has, because she already basically knew some of the things that she wanted to do. She was very clear on how she wanted to be able to have people envision what the melismas were. And so my job was to at least be able to guide her in a way that she would exemplify her joy in the documentary. And I think that's really unique. That's what we want to do, is that each individual has their way of being able to express themselves. So thank you, Emily. All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, of course. Thank you.
Yes.
I just want to echo some of what Maria was saying. It was really funny in the beginning of the process of making the video. There were just so many moments, like there's heavy things that they like talk about when you're talking about family, especially if you don't get along with your like given family, and some of the things that were touched on a little bit. And I was even saying, I was like, wow, this could get really sad. Like this whole video can have a completely different vibe if I like edited it just slightly different. And yeah, I really wanted to focus on that joy, like instead, and all of the things that we're able to like bring and give each other rather than the tone change. But
I
yeah.
just want to say before you go, this was beautiful. You did get your message across, and it was very upbeat and positive, and it showed that you can really have a family outside your family, and that's your support group. And rather than dwell on the family, which should be your family that you don't have, you really create these strong bonds with your friends. It was beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing it. And we want you back in the fall.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I would love to join you again.
And I think that's what I want people to know, that Mujer is it's more than just the filmmaking. The filmmaking is a vehicle to be able to have life lessons to the arts, which is what I always practice, right? I believe that each individual has a voice, and you find your voice in what allows you to bring joy to yourself, or bring whatever it is that you want to express yourself. And that's something that we really worked hard to have, that for her, every time that I spoke to her, she would just light up when she would talk about this chosen family. And I said, well, we got to make sure that joy is resonating in your piece. And I think she did a great job. So thank you so much, Emily, again, for being here. And I know you have to leave early, and I want to have Katiria be on before you leave too. So, this is Emily. She did the melismas. Then we had Katiria, who she's going to start to talk about her participation. Katiria had never done anything. She didn't even know how to lift the camera. She didn't even know what it was, anything to do with media, let alone writing or storytelling or any of those things. So, and Katiria wanted to share, because Katiria had double duty, by the way. Not only is she an admin person that was right beside me because this was our first time doing this type of programming. So it was literally trying to discover together jointly, all of us, what this was going to turn out to be. But more importantly is having someone right beside you that consistently was there to ensure that everything was working, that the cameras were working, that if we needed to access to any of the equipment, that we got it. And that was definitely our Katiria. And Katiria, I want you to share your experience on being a participant in the program though.
Hello, everyone. My name is Katiria. Nice to meet you all. So the M.U.J.E.R program was a really interesting experience for me, but I loved every second of it. So a little bit about me. I do not come from media background or any type of artistic background. Mine is more like social sciences. So I guess it's a little bit square. And when I heard about the M.U.J.E.R program that they offer here, I wanted to take it because I do not have any experience whatsoever making videos aside from, the camera and my phone, which I think everybody does. And to my surprise, it's a little bit harder than what it looks. It takes a lot to make a nice video and distribute a message to the public. So I enjoyed a lot. So for me, I had no experience. And I remember when I started, they're like, well, you need to write a script and you need to figure out how to do this and you need to figure out how to do that. And I was a little bit scared because I didn't know how to do any of this. But one thing that I enjoy about the M.U.J.E.R is that it's not like a oppressive environment. It's like a free flow environment. So I was able to work with Maria, and also Emily helped me. I also have Alex help me. And little by little, it took a while, but little by little, I got all that information together. So the program taught me how to use Premiere, which I had no idea whatsoever how to use. I had Julian, who is one of the video editors in the Loisaida Center, help us. He was a great teacher, and he gave me a crash course and he worked with me. So how to work the camera, I learned a lot. I mean, Emily taught me too, because the way you pick up a camera and how you record and the lighting and everything that goes into just making a video. These are things that I wouldn't know if I wouldn't been in this class. So I enjoyed it a lot. I learned, and I ended up doing my video. It is not the best, but I tell you this much. It is the best for a first time. And because of that, I'm actually looking forward to, I'm not gonna be part of the class, meaning as a student, but I'll be working alongside with Maria, and I'm already in my mind making my own little project, and I'm gonna continue to practice, especially with Premiere. So I look forward to that.
Yeah.
And to anybody who doesn't have any experience in the media, video editing, video making, script writing, this is a great class. I loved it a lot. I loved that, they were gentle with me and understanding. And because of that, I was able to like lose my fear a little bit of not knowing how to do certain things and just go ahead and practice.
Yeah, every
So-
week you got better and better. And every week like I said, we had Julian Garnick, who is our in-house filmmaker and editor. We have Javin Zapata, who's not on the Zoom, but he was also one of my assistant coaches. This time around, it's going to be different. The first time that we did it, we had an expansive time between July and December to go through the process of each individual discovering what they wanted to do. This one is going to be more concentrated. We're actually going to do 10 to 12 weeks of an intense programming that is open for all levels. And specifically, what I wanted to say is that this time around, the first time the theme was family, this time around, we want to introduce, there's two things. One is for me, to choose something that reflects what's happening in the world and how would you change that? And then pick what that storyline it would be. You know, that's one of the things that I want to introduce. The other one is being able to get into, I know that social media is a big deal. I think that it's fascinating to me how people use social media to create their own persona, and is diving deep. What would that be like? What would they be like as a filmmaker to be able to find what that persona can be if they use this tool in a way that would be comparable to media used for equity, justice, right, and respect. If you turn that around, rather than doing the selfie, but going, how do we flip that? And we flip the switch. So those are the kinds of things that we're thinking about in terms of topic. What I loved about what Katiria did is that she asked so many questions. She was always inquisitive. Yep, I remember that first day when we were like, as we opened up the doors to the cameras, and then nobody wanted to touch it. I'm like, we need to bring Julian. Everybody had to pick up a camera. Everybody had to go work on the tripod. Everybody started to help each other, because that was the other thing about our small group. It's only 5 to 6 participants at a time. It's a small group, and it's about camaraderie and also becoming a unit, a team players that can help each other. Because on a production, and like I said to them, when you're working on a project, any project that I work on, for the amount of time that I'm on that project, whether it's TV, film, or a theater project, you become a family that has to create a dialogue and a way to help each other accomplish that goal. And that's what happened with the M.U.J.E.R project. So Emily and Alex, who's not here as well, was very instrumental along with Julian to encourage and Javin encourage and help Katiria find her voice. So her theme was about her family. Tell us a little bit about the way that what you chose for your family. Who do you want to highlight in your family?
So I chose my biological family. And in the beginning, I chose them because again, I didn't know the possibilities of those. You could choose your family in whichever way you wanted. I felt like going with my, biological family. And to be quite honest, the video was very inspiring and opening, because I learned some things about my family, and I was able to speak to them in ways that I normally wouldn't. So it was really interesting.
Yeah, but it was
That part I enjoy.
But tell them what part of your family that you focused on, though.
I chose to do women in my family, my grandma, my aunt, and my mom. And I chose to do that because I wanted to know what would be their definition of family. Different generations have different perspective, and so I went on a journey to see what they thought. Again, part of not only learning how to video edit and write the script was to learn about my family. And so it was eye-opening. I learned how to ask certain questions, what questions not to ask. There was so much information, and the video was 5 minutes long, so that was another aspect of learning. How do you add all this thing on a video, and put in little words, say everything that they had to say, so that was another aspect of my video. Yes. So if you like, I'll share the video.
Mm-hmm. And wait, you shot it in New York and in Puerto Rico, right?
I did. So during it was very interesting time. My grandma was diagnosed with cancer. So I went to see her, and I ended up, because my aunt and grandma, they live in Puerto Rico. So part of the video was actually filmed through my phone, while the other one, especially over here, was filmed through the camera. But I enjoyed it a lot, and I want to show you guys. let's see. So here is the video. The most important memory that always keeps coming back for constantly
Sharing?
replaying has I always remember my grandma is through the holidays, especially Christmas. So she had when I was living over there before I moved here.
Katiria, we're not seeing it. We're not seeing it, honey. You have to share your screen.
Okay, I thought I was.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry about that.
That's okay.
Let's see. Can you see it now? Let's see something. I'm sorry, guys. I'm in a new computer and
Get it if you like.
all right. Are you guys seeing it or no?
No,
No? Okay.
not yet.
There you go. There you
Okay,
go.
you can see it now, right? Okay.
Yes. Excellent. Go from the
Let me go
beginning.
back. All right. The most important memory that always keeps coming back for constantly replaying has I always remember my grandma is through the holidays, especially Christmas. So she had when I was living over there before I moved over here, she would do this like big Christmas event. You know, it was always big, and we always had family around. We was always together as a family.
La familia, para mí, es el grupo principal, como mis hijos, mis nietas, mis bisnietos. Esa es la familia mía, la principal mía. Y la de antes, pues los abuelos, la madre, los hermanos, los tíos. Pero siempre para mí, después que mis viejos se murieron, mi familia principal es mis hijos, mis nietos y mis nietos. Como yo prácticamente tuve mucha familia, pero me crié sola con mi abuelo. Y después empecé a tener los hijos y las nietas y eso. Por eso yo digo que para mí lo más importante son los de ahora. Y sobre todo mis abuelitos, que era la principal familia mía antes. Por eso es que pienso que eso es lo principal para mí, mi familia, la mía. Pues familia para mí es el grupo de personas que te apoyan, que están contigo, te enseñan desde pequeño que son los que son obligatorios de sangre, pero después uno va cambiando el pensamiento y empieza a agrandar la familia, aunque no sean de su sangre. Y empecé a encontrar en amistades y compañeros de trabajo lo que era sentir con mi pensamiento lo que es una familia, no de sangre. Debería de ser amor y unión. Eso debería ser familia. Pedro, en mi familia es quien pasa tiempo conmigo. Esto es un ejemplo. Familia, unión. Siempre está en cámara. Felipe. Yo lo adopté desde bebé y lo he criado con mucho amor y he tenido todas las atenciones y lo que pueda necesitar ha estado a mi alcance para él. Por eso.
family is someone who's always there for you, somebody who's gonna guide you and be brutally honest. No matter how much you grow or like how much your interests change or what phase you're going through, they always gonna be there, understanding each other even when we can't understand each other. I don't know if that makes sense, but I think that's what family is.
Thank you, Katiria. Thank you
So
very
that
much.
was my video. It might not be the best, but where I'm coming from, I started from nothing. So I feel like it was everything and I put a lot of work into it.
I know, and
I'm only getting better.
We didn't get a chance to do subtitles, so talk us. You basically chronicled the matriarchs in your family, from your grandmother to your mother to your aunt to your mother. Just give us like a little soundbite of what each of them said in English, so that they can see. Francine said, "We can tell." Well done. It's beautiful. Somebody else said it's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
So my grandma, I believe she's in her late 70s. And when I asked her what she considers family or what is her definition of family, her answer was basically that to her, family is her kids and her grandkids, and maybe her grandparents when she was younger. So what I got from the video was, in other words, what she was saying is that, as you get older, family is constantly going to change, but there's going to be probably a point in your life where your family is just going to be, if your kids or your grandkids. And as opposed to my aunt who had a different point of view, but my aunt it's a bit younger. So for my aunt, family was more, somebody who you have a connection with and somebody who you could trust. And to my mom, she was just describing the family as love, and she went on about her dog, which she loves a lot, Felipe. So I had to add him to the video. So she also mentioned that family is somebody you love and care for, with nothing in exchange.
Right.
So those were the different points of views that I got from the video. So it was very eye-opening for me, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it a lot. I was a little bit scared, because in Hispanic families, conversations like that could ignite a little bit of arguments. But I was happy that I learned what I learned, and I was able to record it.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was wonderful. I mean, that's the part about the program that I love, is that I wanted to have an experience, especially for the first time for all of us, that storytelling, their story, that each one should be stories that other may see their fragments of themselves in it. I feel like we're at a critical point now where, as Latinos, that's the other thing. As a Latina, I mean, this is open to everybody, but as a Latina, we don't tell our stories. We don't put them anywhere. And this is a moment I wanted to take this opportunity to say, hey, we've got this here. Why not? Let's start with this, and then we can move forward from that. And, I really do. So I'm reading some of the chat. So Katiria Gabriel says, congratulations. He loved the film. Yeah. So he's got to go. Okay, bye, Gabriel. But here's the thing. What was my train of thought? Oh, my train of thought was that the power of storytelling and the power of the camera I think it's amazing. It's an amazing thing what you can do. And 5 minutes of a film requires that you have to be as clear as you can to be able to put that message across. So we're hoping that with this M.U.J.E.R pivot, we want to see participants that want to truly be there because they want to do self-discovery of themselves, as well as being able to ignite some type of a storytelling that is important to them. And then therefore we can help guide you so that it becomes important to all of us who are there. It's not just the project itself, but it's the communal experience that you're going to have during that 10 to 12 week time. And yeah, I mean, that's what M.U.J.E.R is. So if anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer, but I wanted to at least share with you the two extremes that we had in our program.
I will say that although I don't speak Spanish and I didn't understand it, I understood it. I really understood it. Your grandma just sitting in a rocker, rocking back and forth, was just so happy to talk about whatever she was talking about. And you could see just in her gesture and her posture and her demeanor that it was real, right? Whatever she was saying was real. And your aunt is this free spirit. And your mom reminds me of me with my dog. My daughter says all the time, you love your dog more than you love all of us.
All the time.
It was very beautiful. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. And the other two were great too. I mean, it was wonderful because we had two other participants. That one girl, Alex, she basically created like what I call a PSA. Her topic was on global warming and what the refrigerators what type of refrigerators we should have in our homes to be able to be more responsible, right? And hers was she had like 2 different scripts. And then we went through each of them, and I had her choose the one that I thought would give her an opportunity to go to that next step, because she basically could have gotten a grant for this and created a PSA. That's how good it was. I mean, both of her scripts, everybody did a fantastic job. But hers was really focused on how can we make a change with the stuff that we have in our home, starting with our refrigerator. And so that was Alex Nicole Edwards. And I think we'll have some clips on it on the Loisaida site. And then we had another gentleman who did he wanted to choose Loisaida because he had grown up in that neighborhood and he was part of that center for a very long time. And so he decided that he wanted to document the center. So it was interesting to really see each of these participants and how we were able to pull out. For me, it's pulling out something that everybody's going to resonate with, because at the end of the day, we can all pick up a camera or we can all pick on something, right, that's creative. But unless you are invested in it to the point that is it's not about, like you said, the language. That's one of the things that we talked about with Katiria. We weren't going to have a time to do subtitles. And I said it should be clear enough so that people should understand.
Yes. And it was. It really was. It really was. And Katiria, just so you know, what you do is arts-based research, ABR. It's using art as the means to better communicate an idea and be a part of some sort of social change. Arts-based research. If you want to give it like a scientific, kind of thing, it's arts-based research.
Yeah.
And storytelling is so important. It really is. It's something you leave behind to your, to your community, to your family, to your kids. It's so, so important just that to have that sense of belonging and family again, right? That storytelling, not just your biological family, but the family you choose to be with, even that story.
Yeah, it's so important. And I think it during the time frame during these times that we're living in, we're seeing more and more that we need to get back into these types of stories, and also diving into a way that you can change somebody else's life. Because I could tell you this, that group became so tight that they're going to support in some way, shape, or form, and then they're going to help usher in the next group. And that's what it's about. For me, as an artist, all I wanted to do was to serve my community, specifically work with the Latino community. When I was introduced, Gabriel was actually here before. He's actually the person that introduced me to Alejandro. And when he showed me that room and then sent me the idea of the program, I immediately started to work on it so that we can, fill out the grants that we needed, so that by the time that we finished the first M.U.J.E.R, we would be able to then jump into the next program, which I'm working on now, which is the pivot. And I said to him, I see that going to the next step. How can we create opportunities, not only within the community, but outside of the community, who want to come and join us, and whether they're in school and college or whatever, that they can come here. Because what I would love to do is to then take that group and expose them to the industry. That's the goal, is to continue to build the program in a way that is responsible storytelling, is what I'm calling it. You call it ABR, but yeah, it's taking, for me, I come from the commercial circuit, right? In the commercial circuit, we do the project that's there, but we never really dive into the opportunity that we have with this M.U.J.E.R project, which is totally focused on how can we use it in a way that's going to be life-changing for the individual, whether or not that documentary gets made or not, or whether they discover that they can, like Katiria, and then within that also discover something else that she was able to share with us, which is for her as the self-discovery of the relationship between her family members, but more importantly, also for her to know that she was able to tie the knot by the project that she did. Imagine if we were to do that with other subject matters, and that's the power of art. That's why I wanted to come on here and talk about it. It's like, this is only the beginning of what we want to do with M.U.J.E.R, and we want to continue to grow it. And each participant will get a stipend and as well, and they get exposed to high quality equipment and individualized training, as long as a collective group working together to achieve the goal of having your documentary completed within the 12 weeks. That's the difference. This time, the pressure's on a little bit. We had a little bit more time the first time around. For me, I feel this 12-week program will give you the feeling of what it's like when I work on a project that's real short. I mean, you have to do it. We have no ifs, ands, or buts. You can't cry. You can't complain. You know that you got that time and you got to hand it in. So this time around, it's about both. It's about storytelling and also understanding a time commitment that's intense, and what can you create within that intense time frame. So, yeah.
I would like to take a sec here for a huge shout out to Ms. Torres, because you are the powerhouse behind all this. Like, you need a mentor like you to inspire your students, the project, to have that vision of like, this is a starting, then we go to the next level, and then to finish it up into the industry. So let's hear it for Ms. Torres, because I mean, like, I'm inspired to be working with you and be that change that we want to see in society. So for all you, mentors, advisors, teachers out there, recognize the power that you have in inspiring and being that role model for your community as well.
Absolutely. I mean, and that's what it's about. And I think also for everybody that's here is to know that this is, the equipment and the stuff that we have is incredible. It's an incredible opportunity to really think about just coming on board. If there's something specific that you want to create, know that through this program, you can actually make it come to fruition. And for me, the power of change comes from the individual, one person at a time. You have to be able to know that you can make a difference just by being in the room, and being in the space. And that's what we have at Loisaida Center. And the online forms, right? The application is already open. Applications are open. So if you want to know anything more about it, Katiria, if you can put it in the Google chat, or I could send it to you, RG, and you could put it online so that people can sign up.
It should already be online, but yeah, I know exactly where it is. Yes, perfect. Awesome. And it'll be in the we'll put in the newsletter. We have an ARTIVISM Zine that goes out every month. So I think we could put a tab underneath, for more information on past events, and we'll put this on also. I thank Alejandro for making me and ARTIVISM aware of the Loisaida organization. He's told us about the history, where they were, where they're at, about the restaurant and the woman who served people. And yes, it is such a wonderful organization, and one really everyone should know of, and particularly the history of. It's amazing. Thank you for being here. We can open up for questions, but before we do that, I want to tell you that next Monday, March 7th, we have the Earth Singing Project with mezzo-soprano Cartazina Sages. For more information on upcoming projects, you can visit our site at adelphi.edu/artivism. I'll put it all in the chat. You can follow us on Instagram and on Facebook. We do have a call for artworks. You can submit your films, Katiria. You could submit your film. All we need is the QR code. We will print out the QR code, a nice visual. It's a multi-venue exhibition. So we have, I think, 4 venues so far. It'll be the month of April and May. It'll be a global event. We have people in Greece that are contributing that will be exhibiting there also. So it'll be an ARTIVISM exhibit. So please, I will send you all the details. All we need is the QR code to your video link. Let's see, what else? Am I forgetting something? Thank you to Adelphi University, who sponsors us, Sing for Hope, and Gottesman Libraries, a Teachers College, Columbia University. Thank you so much to the web team at Adelphi, who make sure everything is always up and running. So any questions? How many applicants? Oh, we do have one, sorry. Yes, it says wonderful work. How many people do you accept for this program at one time?
Well, for this one, I'm going to be accepting the most will be 6 at a time because
Right.
of the fact that I want to make sure that each person has their own station and they have access to their own premiere and all of that. So it's about 6 at a time, but I would say apply and then we'll contact you for sure and share it with others. And the requirements are basically to fill out the online form that asks you specific questions about yourself, as well as the interest that you have, and as well as your bio and your resume, so that we can do that. And then what will happen is that after you do the online form, we will contact you and I will do like a Zoom where we can all really be able to dive in a little deeper. Like I said, we're calling it M.U.J.E.R Pivot this time because I want to step up a notch. This is about having an intense time frame that we're going to be working together, and therefore the classes will be in person as well as online. So it'll be both, and you'll have access to the equipment. So there's a lot of offerings that we have as well, which I think is an invaluable opportunity. And I would jump, if it was me and back in the day, I would have killed to be able to have an opportunity like this, because it's something unbelievable. The equipment is there, everything is there, and we've got access. Aside from meeting with us and the commitment of the 12 weeks and having to check in with us in person as well as online, you have access to the space. I created a server so that each person is able to upload their material onto the server, and then there's constant communication with me, a one-on-one that I would always be critiquing, as well as the rest of the team that's going to be with me. I'm having filmmakers, playwrights, storytellers that are excellent, that will be able to help you and teach you how to do these things if you don't know it. And if you do, dive in a little bit deeper. Get better at what you can do. If you have a subject matter, bring it, and then we could see how we can make that into come to fruition.
Is there an age requirement?
You have to be 18.
Okay.
So it's 18 and up. Yeah, it's 18 and up, because some of the subject matters that we want to dive into, we want to make sure that they're 18 years old and they're able to do that. Yeah. So 18 and up, and then there's no restrictions on the other side. As long as you're able to have the desire to want to learn and do this, you're more than welcome. But if you are filmmakers and you don't have the equipment, please register, because this is important. If you're a filmmaker, you can create your own documentary that can promote your work, promote the concept of what you want to do. So I think that's really important. The classes will be held, it's 10 to 12 weeks. Right now we're looking at a 10-week with possibly a 2-week extension. It'll be on 2 weeks on a Saturday during the week. So within that 10 to 12 week, what will happen is that you'll meet in person. I think, well, we have it right now. It's like 2 Saturdays, and then we meet like in the middle of the week, and there'll be a check-in every week so that you're able to maintain this time frame that I'm talking about, because it's tight. It's, you want to make sure that you are going from the idea to the storytelling, to the script delivery, to the actual execution, and then whatever else that you need, you're going to be able to have access to the Loisaida through being able to sign up and have a schedule that we can make for the individual, so that you're able to complete your project with us as well. Carolina, can you share our flyer? Can you share our flyer? The one that Carolina?
Yes, I will. Let me bring it up.
And
Yeah.
I tell my students all the time, when there are these opportunities are available, jump on them.
Yeah.
You know, years go by and you look back and it's like, I should have. You know, this is a great opportunity. We have other presenters that were offering internships, and it gets to the point where we sometimes beg our students, go for it, right? Just do it. If you are interested in filmmaking, in storytelling, in spoken word, in written word, in using the arts as a means for change, apply. All it takes is for you to at least try and apply.
Absolutely. I mean, that's it. And the whole thing about it is that everybody that took that program has now, like, Alex is now working at Loisaida as a marketing person, and she's now going on to creating more films that are more important to her. Emily's going to be coming back to do a music video. Katiria is going to be working alongside me so that we can actually build. Julian actually winded up working with some of the other artists that I brought in. Some of the artists that are here winded up becoming actors in the other film. So it becomes this network of really being able to support each other during the process. And for me, like I said, I'm a working artist that's in the field. It gives me an opportunity to really hone the talent and then see how they can actually grow, continue to grow outside once we're done with this time frame.
And I also want to add that you know, unlike most classes that a lot of students take, this is a community center, so it is open to everybody who participates. You are always welcome to come back and keep using Premiere, keep using certain equipment, you know, with permission. So it's a continuous thing. It's not like you take the class and that's it. Whatever you learn, you learn. It's a learning process. So you could continue to come back and learn new things. I mean, I'm gonna continue to learn. I mean, I didn't get to learn how to add the subtitles, which is something that I'm looking to learn in next class. I learned the first level of it, so now I'm gonna engage in doing other things, maybe things that I personally wanted to do. And through this, I'm gonna continue to do it and just get better at it. I'm very excited about it. Like I said, I didn't have the experience, but I'm enjoying it, and I actually like how it came out, and I'm looking forward to it. So I recommend it to everybody. Our class, we had different, I was the less experienced person, and I ended up doing a pretty good job. So, you know, it's a working process.
Yeah.
So we encourage everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. RG, thank you so much. And
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me, and Carolina as well. And thank you everybody for staying on with us and joining us. I really appreciate that. Like I said, I can't express enough how much I'm excited about being at the Loisaida Center. I'm doing so much work, but when I would go there, I feel like I'm home because as a Latina, I'm getting to share and be able to really see how sharing your experience with somebody turns their life around. And you could see how each one of them, these only two, if you see the rest of them, like I said, I will have it on the website so that you can see it. And I know that we did a film presentation of the rest of the work that you can actually, I think, Katiria, you can share the YouTube link with RG, because it would be great for you to see it too as well.
Yes.
And I love the fact that you're doing ARTIVISM, because that's also something that we want to do. Like, they should be applying for that. It's finding the opportunities. And I want to say this. I'm doing this also because Latinos need to step up in what we do. We need to be able to really focus that when you're given an opportunity, it's like this, don't think that it's small. Take advantage of it, because you never know where you're going to make it or where that's going to take you. And even if you're not Latino, the fact of the matter is, if somebody offers you something like this, jump on it. I can't tell you enough. All the students and everybody that I've gotten under my wing since 2020, including this program, they're living their stuff. They're living it. They're out there and they're creating during the hardest time where everybody was paralyzed. I chose to say, we're going to create and we're going to move forward and we're going to find our voice. Yes, it's difficult, but it's not as difficult as you think, because you know why? Artists, we know how to live in the uncertainty. We live in the uncertainty. So this is a wonderful time that you can, rather than having to run to 20 different things, pick something that you love and do. Find what you love and do and devote yourself to that. With this program, I feel like I even learned, for me, the importance of media. I learned the importance of storytelling through media. It could reach so many people. And so I'm so excited to see and welcome the next participants in. Like I said, right now, we're looking from 6. We're going to probably go up to 8 at the most, but know that I'm going to continue to do that. Send your applications in. Okay.
And I want to loop back to what Maria Torres said from the very beginning when she started. We meet people for a reason, right? You take that, you meet people for a reason, take it to the next step.
Yes.
Get your story out there. Yes.
Yeah, it's very important. I think now more than ever, we ourselves are wanting to continuously ask representation. I keep hearing that word in the field. I'm like, the representation is going to happen when you pick up whatever the art form that it is that you want and you do it yourself. That's the way I made it. I made it as an artist. I started out as a dancer. And from a dancer, I went into acting. And then from acting, I became an associate choreographer. Then from associate choreographer, I became a choreographer. Then an associate director, then a director. Do you know what I mean? I went up the hill, up the ladder. In every medium, it was like that. I never said no. Whenever anybody would ask me, can you try this? Can you do this? You know what I would say? Yes, absolutely. Even if I didn't know, I would show up because I was curious and I wanted to learn. And it gave me an unbelievable career of 25 plus years. And I work on Tony nominated projects, Oscar winning nominated projects. Okay. I work in brand new shows that we're ushering in. You know, I worked on In the Heights when it was just an idea. And we said, no, that's got to come to Broadway. The same thing with On Your Feet. Just an idea. We talked about it. We brought it in. So my thing is, this is our time for everybody that's out there and that's listening to me to really put the fire underneath yourself. Nobody's going to get you there. You don't get there by just sitting home and dreaming about it. You get there by actually taking action. That's what I do. And that's what I keep sharing. Like 2020 reminds me when I was a kid. You know, the hustle is real and you have to do it yourself. And it's not going to change. Now, here is the next part of it. If you want our stories to be seen, pick up a camera, pick up a pen, do it. The only way that you're going to see it is when you are actually engaged with whether it's supporting somebody or whether you want to take the challenge and be able to try it for yourself. Like Artiria did. She goes, she came in scared and she goes, and she had everything that she told me. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. I said, listen, it's okay. It's all good. We're going to figure this out. And you're going to see for yourself, but it's a process. And in that process, you know, people talk about process being something that could be kind of like detrimental if you get into it. No, I believe that the process is where you actually are able to self-discover the capabilities of what you have inside you. And that no matter what the establishment is saying, because we are all fighting and saying to the establishment, it's time for our voices to be amplified and heard and be given the opportunities that we need. And I'm saying, I've always taken the opportunity. I've never waited for anybody to give me an opportunity. I just knocked on the door. You know, the door was closed. I lift up the window and I said, hi, my name is Maria. I'm here to learn. Can I come in and take your class? So with this one, I'm saying you're more than welcome. And hopefully we'll get you guys charged up enough that right after you hang up with me on the Zoom, I get to see some forms that are online. Thank you so much for joining.
My goodness, look at that. Whoa. Yeah, here in ARTIVISM, we have a little saying that goes along the lines of trust creates opportunities. Opportunities, a dignified life.
Yeah.
So that's the bottom line for ARTIVISM. It's just about dignity, unity, right? Family. And that's all you're doing there with the M.U.J.E.R and the Loisaida Center. Usually also within the ARTIVISM presentations, we have a key takeaway. So if we were to ask you both that you're here, unfortunately Emily had to leave a little earlier, but Katiria and Ms. Torres, one takeaway for our audience today for action, what would that be?
If you don't speak for yourself, nobody will. And so we live in a media era where you could speak for yourself, record it, and keep it forever, and have everyone hear your message as you intended to say it.
Yeah.
That's my message.
Yeah, Katiria. Well, I mean, I echo the fact that of what I said before. You, what you're asking for has to start by asking yourself. Do you know what I mean? When we say we want to see other things happen for us, then start by making it, finding what works, what speaks to you, what art form speaks to you. And what I love about the media, like I said, what I learned is that media is a powerful tool right now, and you can really use it for good. And why not learn that? Because if ever, I would rather see people in my class, in this class at Loisaida, doing this kind of work than what I'm seeing on social media right now. I want to flip around that storytelling on social media that's actually it's becoming toxic and it's divisive. And I believe that right now what we need to do is stay away from from being divisive. And the takeaway that I could say is, like, I'm not oppressed. I've never been oppressed. I've always told my story. I will continue to tell my story, but now I want to tell many stories and I want to amplify all of those stories. So that's what I leave is start with yourself. Join the movement. Join us.
Perfect. Perfect.
Thank you, Carolina. Thank you, RG.
No, thank you. Audience members, any comment, any closing remarks from you? Thank you for being here. You're also part of all this movement. Go ahead, take action, change your context so that it just, keeps on growing and growing, and we have this positive energy coming from all over, so that no longer we will be having so much, as Ms. Torres said, toxicity in the environment. We need to crash that with all this powerful positive energy. So if you have a question, unmute yourself, come on, jump on. We're family here, so we're all ears.
Hi, I'm Kimberly. I just wanted to say thank you so much, Maria, for sending me this link. I just jumped on impromptu. This is phenomenal. And I will be spreading this far and wide. There's so much in this room when it comes to support, love, expertise. This is amazing. Congratulations to, is it Kateria?
Carolina and RG. Carolina
And RG. Oh, I meant the girls who did their
Katiria.
Katiria. Beautiful, beautiful job. I just wanted to show love and just tell you this is exciting, and I'll be applying. I look forward to it.
Yeah, and everybody, I'm going to be actually on March 3rd. I'm actually doing a talk with Miss Kimberly. On what platform?
It's going to be on Zoom. It's called In Conversation, and we're talking about Afro-Latinos in the dance industry. And Maria is one of our panelists that we'll be celebrating.
Yeah. So come on. This is the time where I'm thank you for coming off camera and giving her flowers, because Katiria really did a great job, and we were all so happy. Like, I was proud of each person that did the work, because, like I said, it's not about what the other person, the experience. One other thing that I want to say, you can't worry about what's in somebody else's house. You got to worry about what's in your own house and how to be able to build that up to make it look like the house that you want. You see what I mean? That's what I live by. I live by that. I've gotten to where I've gotten because I didn't pay attention to what was happening for other people, but I was always asking, what can I do for myself and for others? Right. And so that is something that I think is so beautiful that I saw happen here. That's what I wanted to infuse in each one of them. And each one of them rose to that occasion, that they were able to find their voices and be proud of the work, like Katiria is speaking, and I love seeing that, because I remember how each one of them went through their meltdowns, went through the cycle of fear, went through the cycle of, oh my God, am I going to be able to do this? They went through all those cycles, and it's okay. And the thing is that that's what happens in real life. I said, I'm on a production. Sometimes I don't even have time to finish. They're looking at me and they go, no, we're cutting. We need to get this last shot. And you got 2 minutes to get that last shot. And if we don't get it, what winds up happening is you may not be called back to that production, right? So how do you deal with that kind of stress? That's something that I've been doing for a long time. You just keep focused. You keep the focus on the work. You keep the focus on what's happening around you. Keep the focus on yourself and what you're doing. And hopefully, like I said, together we can make better change. So thank you.
Practice makes perfect.
Yes.
That's the key to success.
And
Yes.
like I said, leadership, like his stories. What an example! My gosh.
Thank you, Carolina. It's been a pleasure with you two ladies. I can't wait. I'm going to definitely encourage Katiria, Emily, and some of the other participants to submit their film, because so the other two are just as good too. They're really, really good work that they did. So yeah, thank you so much for inviting me and having
We'll
me.
send you the information, and I'm sorry, it was Emily who said that we
Emily.
need people for a reason. Yes, and we do. You have to know to, when to jump at opportunities when they're there.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
It was a pleasure being here. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much.
I have to go.
Yes.
But,
yes.
I'm happy to talk about the experience I have, and I hope that anybody that's here and interested and doesn't have the experience, listen, there's only one way to learn, and you gotta dive right in it. And
that's it.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as it looks. So thank you for having me, ladies.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Maria.
Thank you.
Take
Have a
care.
good evening, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, Francine.
Bye.
Nice to see you. Nice to meet you, everybody.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, check your chat before you go. Miss Flores' event is there, so that if you like to participate, you can have it right there as
Yeah,
well.
Kimberly put it in the chat. That's
Yep,
it. Thank you,
And if
Kimberly.
you send it to ARTIVISM, we can also share
Yes.
it with our network. So please,
I'll send it to you now.
Definitely.
As soon as I'll send it to you now as well. Okay.
Okay, wonderful.
Right.
Thanks again, everyone.
Perfect.
Have a wonderful afternoon and keep it going. Wepa.
Bye-bye. Be well.
Bye. Be well. Bye,
Bye-bye.
Francine. Bye.
Bye-bye.